If the way right, then we straight right. I get money, Kid Cudi, day and night.
Man, we back. Your boy been sick for about a week, but I'm good now, and we back. And I'm definitely excited to be back pushing this content to y'all. But before we get into everything that I want to hit y'all upside the head with, I got to give a shout out to everybody that's tapped into this video right now. And I want to give a shout out to everybody that has subscribed to the channel. I really appreciate y'all supporting the channel. That really motivates me to continue doing what I'm doing, pushing this content out to y'all. I want to go over a couple things today. First, I want to talk about the Nancy Guthrie situation. She's an elderly woman that was abducted from her home in Tucson, Arizona, and she happens to be the mother of Savannah Guthrie, who is a co-anchor of the Today Show. I also want to talk about that situation that happened in Chicago to that young lady who was ambushed and shot up, sitting in her car with her baby's father and her baby. And it's sad to say, the young lady did not make it. I also want to tap into the Epstein Files situation because there was a couple names that popped up, and I thought that was pretty interesting. You know, we got Jay-Z, Pusha T, and Bill Gates coming up in that. We're going to talk about all that, man. But before we do, like I said, thank you to everybody that's been supporting the channel. Shout out to y'all. And please keep supporting the channel, man. Y'all really motivate me to continue to push this content out to y'all. But hey, like I said, we're going to check out the Nancy Guthrie situation because I don't know, man. Something's not sitting right with me when it comes to that. I mean, it's already bad enough that somebody abducted an elderly lady from her home. It's all bad, man. It's getting ugly, man. Hey, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video, man. Check it out.
The family of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie issued a new statement tonight speaking directly to their mother's captor.
Investigators also released a more detailed timeline today of the mother's disappearance and announced a $50,000 cash reward for her safe return. Fox 4's Casey Stiegel following the latest developments tonight in studio. Casey.
Steve, Heather, good evening. A purported ransom deadline was set for 5 local time this afternoon, which is now come and gone. So the family went back on social media tonight, and a warning. Some of the video in this story contains images of blood evidence at the scene.
So they already have received ransom letters or a ransom note or email or something to that effect for, I don't know how much. I know it's some in the millions. They want a couple million, and the first timeline has already passed. Now, I understand the family not paying the ransom, being that they're not sure if their mother is still alive or not. But at the same time, with them not paying the ransom, she probably is not alive anymore. I'm not sure. This is just my speculation. Let's get into it and see what they're talking about.
Measured but clear.
Whoever is out there holding our mother, we want to hear from you. We haven't heard anything directly. We need you to reach out, and we need a way to communicate with you so we can move forward.
Cameron Guthrie's Thursday night appeal, a stark contrast from the emotional plea of all 3 siblings one night before.
Mama, if you're listening, we need you to come home.
Both with a similar request.
We have to know that you have our mom. We want to talk to you, and we are waiting for contact.
Earlier Thursday, Arizona authorities released their most detailed timeline yet, tracing Nancy Guthrie's last known movements. The 84
I don't know, man. Like I said before we started the video, it's just something that doesn't sit right with me. And I know that everybody that's involved with this lady, you know, family or friends, everybody's a suspect right now. And I don't think anybody can be ruled out right now. I think they really need to be looking into what kind of life insurance policies and what her will is looking like, you know, because there's just something not right about this. Now, I'm not saying that somebody related to her or somebody that knows her is responsible for this abduction, but I can't rule anybody out at this point. Everybody's a suspect to me right now.
4-year-old returned home from a family dinner just before 10 Saturday night. 4 hours later, shortly before 2 a.m., her front doorbell camera was disconnected. By 2:12 a.m., a separate camera detected motion. At 2:28, her pacemaker lost its Bluetooth connection to her cell phone, which was left behind. Investigators say they have been unable to retrieve footage from the home surveillance system.
We know that the tech company that we sent that camera off to, yes, they've said they've run out of ways to recover any video.
Investigators say they can't even find the camera. Only the mount is left behind. Below it, drops of blood on the porch, which authorities confirmed Thursday belonged to Nancy.
I know there's been a lot out there about suspects, and I want to be very clear. At this time, we have not identified a suspect or a person of interest in this case.
Another major mystery.
I think a couple people should be suspects right now, and I'm gonna have to start out with the family. I ain't lying, man. Greed is real. And if that lady had a big insurance policy or a nice will, I mean, you can't say what people won't do these days. Family members are definitely suspects in my eyes.
Ransom note sent to TMZ and a local CBS station in Tucson 2 days after Nancy vanished, which reportedly contained information about the crime scene and asked for a ransom to be paid out in Bitcoin.
We are in communication with the family. And while we advise and recommend from a law enforcement perspective, any action taken on any ransom is ultimately decided by the family.
In a related development, California police arrested a man accused of sending bogus Bitcoin-related texts to the Guthrie family Wednesday. Court documents say Derek Colella admitted using an internet-based number just to see if the family would respond.
How dumb and thirsty is that? Some random guy saw this case going on the news, because I'm sure it's been broadcasted all over the United States right now, and he decided to send the family a ransom note himself for Bitcoin. He needs to be locked up. He definitely needs to be charged with something and locked up. That was a straight dummy move. What in the hell was wrong with that dude? Super thirsty, man. People will do anything for money these days.
So another reported ransom deadline is set for next Monday. Family members say Nancy Guthrie takes medication daily to manage chronic pain and other conditions. Their appeals to hear something from their mother have gone unanswered.
Mason, thank you. Now to the breaking news we're following in Tucson. We have now passed the supposed 5 p.m. ransom deadline for Nancy Guthrie, believed to have been abducted from her home 5 days ago. Detectives confirming an arrest for an imposter caught sending demands to the family.
So that's the thing that worries me a little bit. They already missed the deadline that the kidnappers arranged to be paid by. So with that being said, and knowing that this lady has a pacemaker and has to take different medications just to be able to move around and pretty much live, I mean, it's not looking good, man. It does not look good to me. I will be surprised if they find this lady alive, man. Especially after they missed the deadline. You know, they didn't pay these guys, but I heard they have another chance, and they have until sometime Monday to pay the ransom. But the family does not want to pay the ransom if they're not sure if their mother is still alive. So this is a problem, man. Like I said, I hate to say it, but I almost don't see this lady being found alive.
Also new today, a $50,000 reward announced, and detectives say they remain hopeful that Nancy Guthrie could still be alive. Our true crime correspondent Brianna Whitney's live in Tucson. Brianna, you were asking the sheriff and the FBI today specifically about this deadline tonight and that apparent ransom note. They're still trying to determine if that note is indeed credible.
Right, and that's a difficult task that they have. I mean, as of now, right now, 5 p.m., that is the supposed deadline that this person who allegedly wrote the ransom note gave for any sort of financial demand. But there's a second deadline too, the FBI telling us that if it doesn't get met today, there's another deadline for another amount on Monday. It is very bizarre. They are still investigating this. We know there was that one fake ransom note. They were able to make an arrest there, but on this one, they're still taking it very, very seriously. But there was a lot that was revealed in the press conference today. I want to go over all of the biggest details that we learned and that we know. We now have a much clearer abduction timeline. At about 1:47 a.m. overnight from Saturday to Sunday, the doorbell camera disconnects on Nancy Guthrie's home. 2:12 a.m. software detects a person on camera, but there is no video because she didn't have a subscription. And then at 2:28 a.m., her pacemaker app disconnects from her phone. The sheriff believes her abductor was at her home and took her in that time frame within about 25 minutes. Now, more on the ransom note. The FBI confirmed today the local Tucson news stations and TMZ got this same ransom note and that it had details that Nancy had an Apple Watch and mentioned a floodlight at the scene, though anybody could see a floodlight hanging down.
I'm just wondering, why would this lady be picked to be abducted? Why was she the target? I'm just real curious about that. I mean, it sounds like somebody outside of family and friends may have did this, but at the same time, the family members and friends are still suspects in my eyes, because I just don't understand why this elderly lady was targeted to be the one to get abducted and held for ransom. I don't know, man. There's something not right about this. I mean, it just doesn't sit right with me, man. There's something hella fishy about this, man.
FBI wouldn't go into what the note says will happen this evening and if Monday's deadline isn't met either. We know a California man was arrested for putting a fake ransom note out there.
If they don't get her back by Monday, if that ransom ain't paid by Monday, oh yeah, she's definitely gonna be dead when they do finally find her. Please believe that.
Was different than the known note they're still investigating. We also know more about the crime scene itself. We now know the blood droplets on the front porch came back from DNA testing confirmed to be Nancy's. The sheriff had deputies back at the scene yesterday actively investigating, even though it had reportedly been processed and finished the day before. So I asked the sheriff about why they went back out there and what happens with that now.
I know you had the crime scene process. You said you went back out there. Your partners wanted to see it. But you guys were actively taking out evidence yesterday. Was there something you missed the first time, or did you get a new piece of information that led you to believe you needed to go back out and take more than you had that first day?
You know, I know that we get information that will come, and this is just any crime scene that we look at. We may go out to a crime scene and think we've got it all, go analyze the evidence, and something comes back and says, hey, did you check this? We're not going to just say, oops, and not go.
So did something new come in?
In this instance, it really was the FBI just wanted to go, hey, can we take a look at it?
Are you worried about that being contaminated at all because there was people in now
You
the
know,
house?
I'll let the courts worry about that. We will certainly be open to the courts of anything that's been removed from that house, and we follow the rules of laws. We get court orders and go back and reapply for another warrant if need be. All of those things we're very careful of.
The sheriff said playing Monday morning quarterback today, that was probably a mistake, and they shouldn't have cleared the scene when they did because they needed to do that follow-up. Now, one of the most important things of today, the sheriff saying multiple times over and over, they still have no identified person of interest, no identified suspect, but he also said they haven't ruled anybody out.
This situation is definitely sketchy to me. And from what I've been hearing recently, they have went to her family members' houses and collected more evidence. There was evidence taken. There was another car that they had a search warrant for, and they toted it away to investigate that more. So, like I said, man, family members are not in the clear in this, because if she had a nice size life insurance policy, or if these people were in her will for a lot of money, that could very well be motivation for them to do something to her. I hope that's not the situation, but these days you never know. People are greedy, they get thirsty for money, and they'll do just about anything for money. But like I said, I heard recently, earlier today, that the FBI has started to investigate her family members and go to their households and collect evidence. So I can't wait to see what comes out of this. But if the ransom is not paid by Monday, it's lights out for Nancy. So hopefully everything can be worked out. They can fix the situation, they can find her, and life can go on. But I'm not sure that life is gonna go on.
Our mom is our heart and our home. She is 84 years old. Her health, her heart is fragile. She lives in constant pain. She is without any medicine. She needs it to survive. She needs it not to suffer. We too have heard the reports about a ransom letter in the media. As a family, we are doing everything that we can. We are ready to talk. However, we live in a world where voices and images are easily manipulated. We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her. We want to hear from you, and we are ready to listen.
Like I said, I hope everything works out for the Guthrie family. I hope they find their mom. As we can see, the siblings, Savannah, her brother and her sister, they look pretty sad and upset. But at the same time, they could be putting on an act, and this could all be a scheme to get money. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully those guys find their mother safe, and hopefully they catch the people responsible for this. It's a terrible situation. But we're going to get into the next situation that happened in Chicago to a 26-year-old mother. She was shot up inside of her car, and not only was she inside the car, she had a baby in the back seat, and her baby father was in the car as well. Now, it was said that the car was shot up over 50 to 100 times. Straight up overkill. It's crazy, man. And I heard some things about this as well. But before I get into what I heard that may give us more insight onto what and why this happened, we're going to check out what they're saying in this video.
From all indications, there were multiple shooters who fired dozens of shots, perhaps more than 50. Remarkably, all of those bullets missed a baby who was sitting in the car that was targeted.
Man, I'm so glad that baby was not hurt. I'm glad that baby did not lose his life. And I feel bad that the mother lost her life. Originally, I figured this situation was because of the baby dad in Chicago having beef. But like I said, I found out further information that may be the reason this situation happened. And it's just ridiculous, man. It doesn't make sense. But Chicago has always been a dangerous place, and it still is. So I don't know, man. This is just, it's still a terrible situation, man. Nobody deserves to lose their life like this, especially not with the kid, in front of the kid or around the kid. It's just terrible, man.
The story of Gabrielle Ayers, a young woman whose life was taken in broad daylight on a Chicago street, in an attack so violent it left an entire community shaken and asking how much worse things can get.
Investigators remained at the scene well after nightfall at this corner littered with shell casings, where somehow a baby in this bullet-riddled car emerged unscathed.
What's the purpose of shooting at a car when you know there's a child in the car? That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it could be a lot of other people who's lost their life here today.
Images.
That's the problem I have with these YNs today, man. They don't care about nothing, man. They didn't care that it was a innocent little baby in that car. They couldn't do it another time or something. If anything, they should have just been like, you know what? We're going to catch them slipping at another time. We caught them today, we'll catch them again. But we ain't going to shoot up the car with that baby in there. It's crazy, man. Whoever's responsible for this, they need to go to jail. I don't really care why they did it. Like I said, I heard some information on why it may have happened, but that is still not a good enough reason for them to do this the way that they did it. It's crazy, man. Like I said, whoever is responsible for doing this, they need to go to jail.
Of her last moment alive was captured by a terrified driver who happened to be around the vicinity at the time. This young lady died for nothing because she was not the target of the crime which she was killed for.
26-year-old Gabrielle Ayers, who relatives identify as the woman who was shot and killed in her white Chevy sedan around 1:30 p.m. at 79th and May Street. Her car then crashing into a van.
This here is unbelievable. This young lady was a beautiful young lady with a beautiful child, and life just cut short. For what?
100 bullets were shot into her car while she had her 1-year-old son in the car.
Oh my God.
100 shots at the car with the baby in the car. And he said it was a 1-year-old son, but I heard it was really a little baby girl. So let's just correct that. But 100 shots into one little car, man, that's ridiculous, man. That doesn't make any sense, especially with a little baby in the car, man. Whoever did this, they need to go to jail, man. Or they need to be dealt with in the streets for sure.
Oh my God. A child believed to be less than 1 year old is whisked away by a Chicago police officer Wednesday afternoon after somehow surviving this. We muted the sound, but cell phone video shows at least 3 people with guns run up and fire dozens of shots into a white car. The shooters then get into a red car, stop in front of the white car, and begin shooting again, then drive away, all while a child was helpless inside that vehicle.
Can we have an officer ride with the 1-year-old to the hospital?
Why was she targeted and what really happened? Let's find out. Chicago, Illinois has one of the highest violent crime rates among major U.S. cities, with especially high numbers of shootings and homicides compared to national averages. Gabrielle Ayers was a 26-year-old young lady who was living her life on the low just like any typical lady her age. No drama, no problems with anyone, no issues with any gangs whatsoever. Just a year prior to the incident that took her life, Gabrielle had been sharing moments of joy online. Photos of her baby bump, memories from her baby shower the year before, surrounded by friends and family, smiling, laughing, celebrating the life she was bringing into the world.
Now, according to this report, she didn't have any drama, no ops. She wasn't affiliated with any gangs or gang members. But I heard some things that beg to differ. I mean, it's just terrible because from what we see, she did have a lot going on for herself and she did not need to be caught up in this. But did she bring this on herself, or was she just an innocent victim? Let's find out.
Her child was everything to her. Being a mother wasn't just part of her life, it was the center of it. Gabrielle was known as a hardworking woman. She owned and operated a salon where she spent her days making her clients feel confident and beautiful. People who knew her described her as dedicated, kind, and passionate about her work. Her clients appreciated her not just for her skill, but for her heart. She was building something for herself and for her child, a future rooted in stability and love. On the day of the shooting, Gabrielle was sitting in a car with her child's father behind the wheel and her infant in the back seat. What should have been an ordinary moment turned into a nightmare when a vehicle pulled up and multiple gunmen opened fire. Investigators believe
From what I heard, her baby's father was dropping his location, which was pretty damn dumb if you ask me, especially if you know you got ops out there in them streets. Why was he dropping his location, man? Especially knowing that he was with his baby mom and his baby. That was a straight dummy move, man. That was dumb as hell, man. What the hell was wrong with him, man?
Intended target was the child's father, but the bullets tore through the car indiscriminately. A relentless barrage of gunfire erupted, round after round ripping into the vehicle, with Gabrielle trapped inside and her baby just feet away in the back seat. Gabrielle was struck multiple times. Her child's father was also hit but managed to survive. Here is the video of the incident.
Man, they aired that car out, man. That's a damn shame with that baby in there. And could you imagine being the guy that's recording this? It looks like he's in a truck. Probably, it looks like a semi-truck. Could you imagine being at work, being on your route, going down the street, and this is what you run into? That's crazy, man. Chicago is crazy, man. I don't know how people live there. I wouldn't even visit Chicago. That's crazy. You're on your job, and this is what you see. another thing, that was just crazy how they ran up, aired the car out, jumped back in their car, pulled back up to the whip, aired it out some more before they pulled off and got up out of there. Now that's crazy, man. That was straight overkill.
Miraculously, the baby was not physically injured, despite being inside a car that was riddled with bullets.
A witness happened in the middle of the afternoon on a busy stretch of 79th Street in the Auburn-Gresham neighborhood. A witness who we spoke with says he was coming home from work when he saw the shooting. He went to go help those victims who had been shot. That's when he heard and saw an infant crying in the back seat. Somehow that baby uninjured in all of this.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
A child believed to be less than 1 year old is whisked away by a Chicago police officer Wednesday afternoon after somehow surviving this. We muted the sound, but cell phone video shows at least 3 people with guns run up and fire dozens of shots into a white car. The shooters then get into a red car, stop in front of the white car, and begin shooting again, then drive away, all while a child was helpless inside that vehicle.
Can we have an officer ride with the 1-year-old to the hospital?
Thank God that baby is so young that probably won't remember this day, but that baby's going to know that their mother was killed today. That baby could have been killed.
A 26-year-old woman inside the white car was shot several times and later died. A 27-year-old was also shot but expected to survive.
They all had long guns. You know, it's just crazy.
The shooting happened at 79th Street and May around 1:30, just steps from Father Flager's St. Sabina Church. He was at the scene moments after the shots were fired.
And somebody needs to be held accountable. And if anybody knows who did that, I think we got some really good shots off the cameras on the buildings over there.
I agree with that guy. Somebody definitely needs to be held accountable. This is just senseless, man. This is ridiculous. Especially with that baby being in there, man. And I thank God that that baby was not hurt.
I just want them caught.
And after the shooting, that white car crashed into a van. The driver of that van was also uninjured. So far, no arrests have been made.
Over 100 shots were fired into the car she was sitting with her child. As if the first attack wasn't enough, witnesses say that as the assailants drove away, they stopped and fired again, unloading more shots into the already destroyed vehicle before fleeing the scene. By the time help arrived, Gabriel had suffered fatal injuries.
Man, that is a terrible way to go. Terrible way to go. Especially if those shots was meant for her baby's dad. I know he has to feel hella bad. For him to survive it and for his kid's mom to be gone, I know he's feeling hella shitty right now. But at least the baby survived. So, I mean, that was one good thing. But, man, this is just fucked up, man. Nothing like this should be happening.
She was rushed to the hospital, but she did not survive. Her child's father is expected to recover, left not only with physical wounds but with the trauma of knowing the mother of his child was killed in front of him, while their baby sat helplessly in the back seat.
Breaking right now at 4:30, a brazen shooting a block from St. Sabina in the middle of 79th Street, leaving one person dead and a second in the hospital. Our Sabrina Franza is there for us. And Sabrina, there was a child in the car that was shot into, correct?
Marie, the baby was in the back seat of this white car that you can see just here on 79th Street. It is right behind this larger vehicle that it later crashed into after the shooting. Two adults were in the car with that child when at least three people walked up and started firing. Incredibly, the baby was not physically hurt, but the entire incident was caught on video, and a CBS viewer sent that video to us. Here you can see at least three people run up to the white car with guns in hand. Now, we are not airing the audio in this video, though in it you could hear at least 24 shots fired directly at that white car. After running away, the gunman got into a red Alfa Romeo and fired even more shots into this white car. The viewer who took this video, or sent us the video rather, told us that they are heartbroken and distraught tonight, saying that they were on their way from work when they saw the shooting. A man and a woman, both injured, with a baby they say was holding a lollipop in the back seat, crying. That viewer told us that the child was not injured, thankfully. Both adults taken to the hospital, and the male is expected to be okay. More video from the scene also shows the immediate police response. Officers have marked the many bullet casings on the ground as they try to find the person responsible, people responsible. Now, the other car that you can see here, as we mentioned, the driver of this car was not involved in the shooting, we're told, but also got out of the car and refused medical attention. Just an innocent person, it seems, caught in the middle of all of this. At last check, police have said that the female victim in this case is 26 years old, the male victim 27, and as we mentioned, the male victim is expected to be okay, and the child in this case was also, we're told, not injured.
Gabrielle Ayers did not deserve this. She was a mother, a business.
It's terrible, man. Could you imagine? Everything is going good. You, your girl, your baby, you just hand your baby a little lollipop. Here, little man. Here, little mama. And then all of a sudden, you getting ambushed. It's crazy, man. And from what I heard, the way that they got spotted out is most likely because the baby father dropped the location like twice. So the ops knew where they were. They knew exactly where to go find them at. And that was dumb. But I also heard that this young lady was making posts on her page disrespecting somebody else that died. And, and that may be the reason why this happened. She disrespected somebody that passed away on her page. You know people can't let that die down. You know people can't let that go. And that could be the reason that she lost her life. So I could have been wrong when I thought that those bullets were meant for the baby's father. Those bullets were probably meant for her. They probably got exactly who they wanted. And it could have been meant for both of them. We will find out. I'm sure more information is going to come out on this. This is just the beginning of this. This is an ugly situation, man. I mean, they found the baby in the car seat, still holding on to his little lollipop, or her little lollipop, screaming and crying, man. She just seen her mom and her dad get shot. She just seen her mom lose her life, even though she didn't understand what exactly was going on. It's all bad, man. This is super ugly, man.
Business owner, a woman focused on her family and her future. Her child was her world. and now that child will grow up without her. This case is yet another example of how gun violence in Chicago continues to spiral out of control. The city has struggled for years with violent crime, ambush-style shootings, and retaliatory attacks that spill into everyday life. In some neighborhoods, no place feels safe anymore, not cars, not homes, not even daylight hours. Chicago remains one of the most dangerous major cities in the country when it comes to gun violence, and stories like Gabrielle's are becoming heartbreakingly common. Innocent people are caught in the crossfire, families are destroyed, and children are left to grow up carrying trauma that should never belong to them. Gabrielle Ayers should still be here. She should be raising her child, running her salon, celebrating milestones, watching her baby grow. Instead, her name is now added to a growing list of lives lost to senseless violence. Her child survived, and that is a blessing, but survival is not the same as justice. Until the violence stops, until accountability comes, and until communities are protected, stories like this will keep repeating. And they should never be normal. What do you guys think of this? Rest in peace, Gabrielle Ayers. Your life mattered. Your love mattered. And your story deserves to be told. Our sincere condolences to her friends and family.
Like I said, Chicago has always been and still is a very, very deadly, dangerous place to be in. It is a blessing that the baby survived this, and I do want to give condolences to this young lady's family and friends. This should not have happened. Let me know what you think about this situation down in the comments, man. That's bad, man. But we're going to get into this Epstein situation because Bill Gates, Jay-Z, and Pusha T came up in this. And that's crazy, man. The stuff that went on with Bill Gates is definitely crazy, man. Even people with money do the dirtiest things. It's crazy. Let's get into it, man. Check it out.
I have to acknowledge the elephant in the room at this moment. Your ex-husband, Bill, is named in the newest.
This is Bill Gates' ex-wife being interviewed. And she was being pretty cool about it. She didn't really bash him or anything. And that was cool. But the stuff that this interviewer lady is asking her, it just blew my mind to hear the stuff, the allegations against Bill Gates. I would never think somebody of his caliber would be involved in stuff like this. Let's check it out.
Tranche of Epstein Files. And there are a new alleged details about his past behavior. And I want to give you the opportunity to respond in whatever way you want to.
Well, let me say this. I think we're having a reckoning as a society, right? No girl should ever be put in the situation that they were put in by Epstein and whatever was going on with all of the various people around him. No girl.
I agree. These women or these girls that they took advantage of, they shouldn't be victimized the way that they have been. These old grown men with money had so many different options. Why would they choose innocent young girls to victimize like this? It doesn't make sense, man. But like I said, even people with money that sits at a high caliber, they do the dirtiest things, man. And they take advantage of young kids. And that's terrible. And they need to pay for what they do and what they did.
I mean, it's beyond heartbreaking, right? I remember being those ages those girls were. I remember my daughters being those ages, right? So for me, it's personally hard whenever those details come up, right? Because brings back memories of some very, very painful times in my marriage, but I have moved on from that. I purposely pushed it away and I moved on. I'm in a really unexpected, beautiful place in my life. So whatever questions remain there of what I can't even begin to know all of it, those questions are for those people and for even my ex-husband. They need to answer.
I agree with the stuff that this lady is saying, but I find it hard to believe that she was not aware of some of the things that was going on. I mean, she's in these circles with these rich billionaire people. I mean, she's a billionaire herself. So she definitely knows the type of things that goes on behind closed doors with these guys. She's probably even experienced some of these things herself. So I don't think that this lady is 100% innocent. Because if you know about it and you don't say anything about it, you are just as responsible as the guys and the people that are doing it.
Those things, not me.
Well,
and I am so happy to be away from.
I have to put more words to the muck for context for our listeners. The emails in the files suggest that Bill Gates had additional affairs and that he tried to get medication to treat a sexually transmitted infection, and that he was going to give you the medicine without you knowing. His representative has said all of this is false. It is not on you to have to respond to the details of that alleged behavior, but I wonder what your dominant emotion is when you read these news articles with these details.
Sad. Just unbelievable sadness.
That's crazy. Bill Gates was going to try to give his wife STD medication. He was going to sneak it on her. So he was going to either crush it up and put it in her food or, I don't know, give her some kind of injections without her knowing or something. But that's some slick, slimy shit, especially for a guy like Bill Gates to be trying to do. That's crazy, man.
Unbelievable sadness, right? And again, I'm able to take my own sadness and look at those young girls and say, my God, how did that happen to those girls, right? And so for me, it's just sadness for, I left my marriage. I had to leave my marriage. I wanted to leave my marriage. I had to leave I felt I needed to eventually leave the foundation. So it's just sad. That's the truth, right? And
I still believe that she knew something was going on. She knew what these guys do. She knows how they get down in these billionaire circles. So I'm not buying the whole innocent act. Even though I agree with some of the things that she's saying, I don't think that she's 100% innocent in the situation. And she's lucky if she gets away scot-free.
And it's kind of like, at least for me, I've been able to move on in life. And I hope there's some justice for those now women, right? We see them standing up in front of microphones in D.C. What they went through is just unimaginable, I think.
It was reported at that time that you had a...
I want to hear what Bill Gates has to say. The stuff that he allegedly tried to pull off with the STD medication, trying to sneak and feed it to his wife, that's crazy. That's diabolical right there. Let's see what Bill Gates has to say for himself.
Number of meetings with Jeffrey Epstein, who, when you met him 10 years ago, he was convicted of soliciting prostitution from minors. What did you know about him when you were meeting with him, as you've said yourself?
He better not say he didn't know Jeffrey Epstein was soliciting prostitution from minors, because he definitely knew. And he was definitely involved in partaking in those situations. But I guarantee you he's going to say he didn't know and he didn't have anything to do with any of that. Of course, Jeff Epstein is dead, so he's going to put all the blame on Jeff.
In the hopes of raising money.
I had dinners with him. I regret doing that. He had relationships with people he said, would give to global health, which is a interest I have. Not nearly enough philanthropy goes in that direction. Those meetings were a mistake. They didn't result in what he purported, and I cut them off. That goes back a long time ago now. So there's nothing new on that.
It was reported that you continue to meet with him over several years.
Just like I said, he's going to deny everything and place the blame on Bill Gates. It was just business between me and him. I thought he was going to help raise money for my profits that I have. I thought he was going to help me out with donations, and that didn't happen, so I cut everything off with him. Yeah, right. You was over there on Epstein Island getting it in with everybody else, Jay-Z, allegedly, and allegedly Pusha T, and the Prince from England, and everybody else, man. Cut it out, Bill Gates. We know you're guilty, man. We know you was involved. You definitely was involved. Trying to sneak STD medication to your wife. Not trying to sneak it to her, but sneak and give it to her. You a dirty motherfucker, Bill Gates.
And that, in other words, a number of meetings. What did you do when you found out about his background?
Well, I've said I regret.
I'll tell you what he did. Look at him. I thought, well, like I said, I regret even knowing the guy. Nah, he didn't regret it until the shit hit the fan and everything got exposed. Because he was definitely partaking in everything that was going on in Epstein's Island when he was there. When you was there, Bill Gates, you definitely was getting involved. Dabbling with them little girls, man. And you need to be held accountable for that, man. Epstein ain't here, but you still here. And you need to be held accountable, man. Quit trying to deny everything.
Having those dinners. And there's absolutely nothing new on that.
Is there a lesson for you, for anyone else looking at this?
Well, he's dead. So, in general, you always have to be careful.
Exactly. He's dead. And he did it all. I didn't do anything. It was him. And he's dead. So, that's that. But I was not involved with any illegal activities that he did or that was going on his island. Yeah, right, buddy. Yeah, right.
And I'm very proud of what we've done in philanthropy. Very proud of the work of the foundation. That's what I get up every day and focus on.
Jay-Z, Pusha T.
Now this one kind of caught me by surprise. Not really Jay-Z, because for Jay-Z to climb up as high as he has in the game, he had to be doing something behind the scenes. He had to be being involved with all sorts of different people. I mean, he's been rubbing elbows with people in high places for a while. So he definitely had to be involved in some things that they have going on, especially to reach the levels that he has. But Pusha T, That's kind of random right there, if you ask me. I'm surprised to hear Pusha T's name come up in this. But he's involved with Jay-Z. He's in the game, entertainment, rubbing elbows with all those rich, wealthy people in power that could put him in position if he does the right thing. So I guess I shouldn't really be too surprised.
Pretty sure a lot of y'all have caught word that they have released these files that are from like the archive of the FBI. I don't even want to say, or I'm not sure if it's completely apart. Like they're not in Epstein's logs, as in Jay-Z and Pusha T. Jay-Z may be, I'm not sure, but these are like some kind of FBI files that were submitted and they have been released as a part of this entire thing, right?
So allegedly, Jay-Z and Pusha T was involved. But this is coming from the FBI. So if the FBI is saying that these guys were involved with Epstein and Harvey Weinstein, it's probably true. Most likely it's true, especially Jay-Z. Pusha T, man, I still don't want to believe Pusha T had anything to do with it. But Jay-Z, I mean, we all see the way Jay-Z's been moving for the past 5 to 10 years. And, I mean, Jay-Z's moved up a lot in the world, man. He's in control of the entertainment for the NFL. How do you get there? How do you get that position? Owner of the record Rock Nation. I mean, he's a billionaire. How do you get to these levels without doing some dirt with the other elites? So, like I said, I believe Jay-Z definitely has his hands dirty. But I hate to believe, and I find it hard to believe, Pusha T had something to do with it. But Pusha T was probably, somebody that they would send off to do little things. So Pusha T probably was used. So I guess we can't really be too surprised with Pusha T being involved in anything.
It's been a show for a very long time, but my thing is, obviously Pusha T is the most random one. So I immediately thought, like, nah, this ain't no bullshit, because why would they just release some shit with Pusha T? It's like, why would they just release some bullshit with Pusha T? You know what I'm saying? Like, Pusha T is the most random person I could imagine to be included in some stuff like this, but I'm not surprised. Jay-Z, we not surprised at all. I mean, just look at him right here. Well, I'm not surprised. The stuff we've already talked about with him and Foxy Brown, I actually found someone talking about that as well.
That is true. Jay-Z has always been rumored to mess around with minors. He was messing around with Foxy Brown, and allegedly she was underage when he was messing around with Foxy Brown. He also was messing around with Aaliyah. He actually fell out with Dame Dash over Aaliyah, and she was allegedly underage. Dame Dash, Jay-Z, and R. Kelly had a little beef over Aaliyah, and she was a minor. That's crazy, man.
Well, I could probably throw in this video, but the stuff we have talked about, I'm not surprised with Jay-Z. Check this out real quick. Before I show y'all any clips, we're going to read the unclassified document, right? So it says, in approximately 1994, a lot of this stuff is redacted, revealed herself as the past victim of S abuse by you-know-who. Described abuse occurred during parties, further identified as a friend of redacted. Now, it also says in approximately 1996, resided with redacted and redacted. An unknown man abducted probably the woman, from her home when she later awoke in the presence of Harvey Weinstein and Sean Carter, Jay-Z, while Weinstein had inserted his fingers into Redacted. She believed she was in Epstein's mansion in Florida. Redacted estimated she was abducted on 7 occasions, awakened each time in an opulent indoor setting, suffered from abuse on multiple of those occasions in which your boy Epstein participated, right? So in the other part of this document, it says she believes she was drugged and it clouded her memory, attributed the drugging as frequently performed by persons assigned as handlers, whom she described as persons who established friendship with the victims. Among her handlers identified the artist Pusha T.
Now this is all alleged, I believe. I mean, there is a file right here, right in front of us, and I believe this file came from the FBI. But we already know what Harvey Weinstein was all about. And if Jay-Z is hanging out and kicking it with Harvey Weinstein and Jeffrey Epstein, we know that Jay-Z was getting dirty, man. He had to be getting involved. And then they brought Pusha T in, but they used Pusha T. They had him do the dirty work, it sounds like. Have Pusha T go get the girls. He went and did the recruiting. And he also did the drugging, slipping them that Molly, slipping them that pink Coca-Cola or pink Coca-Cola. Probably giving them tranquilizers or whatever the hell they do to get these girls out of their mind so they could take full advantage of them. They all need to go to jail, man. Jay-Z, Harvey Weinstein already locked up. Jeffrey Epstein was locked up, and he passed away, allegedly. And I've been hearing some things about people believing that they have seen him. So he may not even really passed away. That man had so much money, he could pay to fake his death and be living his life somewhere scot-free, man, for all we know. But Pusha T, man, how could you? Man, people do anything for the love of money. Pusha T did what he had to do, man, for the love of money. And that's probably the reason why his brother, No Malice, kind of separated himself from the rap game for a long time. You didn't really see him with Pusha T or any of that for a long time. And this stuff right here is probably why, man. He probably didn't want to be involved in it. He didn't want any parts of it. And it probably kind of spooked him a little bit. And that's probably what pushed him into the whole church thing that he was doing for all these years before he came back into the rap game. That kind of makes sense to me, man. That kind of makes sense.
In approximately 2007, Redacted attended a party following invitation from an unknown man who approached her as she walked down a street. Weinstein and Pusha T also attended the party and drugged her before engaging in abuse. Redacted claimed to have additional information of other persons involved in the enterprise and information related to racketeering conducted the support of the trafficking. Redacted further believed that she was under surveillance and stalked at the direction of the people involved in the abuse. So this is crazy. Pusha T and Harvey Weinstein working together. Now, if y'all remember, when we did that Debo video, remember Debo talked about Harvey Weinstein being in charge of him playing that role where he was graping the little ones, or they made it look like he was graping little ones. And he said Harvey Weinstein, pulled some girls from his camp to come and play the role of him graping people, but they made it look like it was little boys. That was in 1997. And this is from 1994 to 1996 with Jay-Z, Pusha T, and Harvey Weinstein. So that lets you know Harvey, same thing with R. Kelly. They've been on this type of timing.
Well, Jay-Z and Pusha T are on it.
I agree with everything my guy just said, man. A lot of this does make sense, and it does add up. It's crazy, man. These dudes be doing some weird shit when they get money. It's crazy, man.
Epstein Files, and people are not trying to keep the same energy saying it's cap. Nah. Y'all said we believe in everything on the Epstein Files. Which one is it? The woman on the files claims that Pusha T and Harvey Weinstein attended a party with her, and then they proceeded to give her that Bill Cosby and then SA. She then proceeded that Jay-Z R-worded her as well back in 1996, even stating that she felt that she was in the home of Epstein. Also, it's claimed that Bill Gates caught something from one of the Russian girls he was messing with and was asking for medicine.
That's probably that situation when he was trying to sneak and give his wife the medication for STDs. It all adds up, man. What's done in the dark comes to the light, man. And these dudes are being exposed. Bill Gates out there raw dogging Russian prostitutes. What's wrong with that, man? He got too much money to be doing shit like that. That don't make sense, man. You got all them dollars and everything you do don't make sense. That's crazy. Bill Gates raw dogging prostitutes. Crazy.
And Elon was asking to be a part of the most nastiest party that he got. Some are saying no way Jay-Z's part is true because in 1996, he barely had blown up yet. He wasn't as famous as he is now. Now you have people on social media saying no. They believe everything about Elon and Bill Gates, but they won't believe anything when it comes to Pusha T and Jay-Z.
Elon Musk is another one. I really haven't heard anything about Elon Musk doing all this dirty stuff with women. But with all that money that he got, most likely he's been doing something. I mean, the man got a lot of kids, so that's proof right there that he's a sex addict. Excuse me. So I wouldn't be too surprised if we begin to hear stuff about Elon Musk doing a bunch of weird shit with women or little girls.
That it had to be planted. While others are saying that how are we going to believe some victims and not all victims on the Epstein Files when everyone agreed that whoever names popped up on the Epstein file, they was gonna get that belt basically.
We do have Jay-Z and Pusha T being named in the Epstein Files. We do have to remember these are accusations and we have no way to know if these claims have ever been followed up on, and it was a tip submitted to the FBI back in 2019. Now I did search the rest of the Epstein Files to see if any other allegations were made against Jay-Z in these files, and there was not. But some things that I did find in these Epstein Files were Jay-Z's name being referenced in multiple different emails sent to Jeffrey Epstein. Like this one back from 2013, the sender's name is blacked out and it says to Jeffrey Epstein, and the subject is lessons from Jay-Z's business model, Vulture. And the person says extremely clever, but then the rest of it is blacked out. And in 2014, Jeffrey Epstein gets an email from Jess Staley.
I hate how they do that. They black out everything. Man, if you're going to expose the information, don't black stuff out, man. Don't leave stuff out. Put it all out there on the table. Man, I hate when they black information out in these files or whatever.
And Jess Staley is an American banker and the former group chief executive at Barclays, and he spent 34 years at JP Morgan. And back in November of 2021, he resigned because he started to get scrutiny over his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. The New York Times created an article saying that Staley was Epstein's chief defender at JP Morgan, helping Epstein maintain accounts at the firm amid internal concerns that Epstein was using those accounts for illegal activities. So Jess wrote to Jeffrey Epstein, "You want to know why we're not Sao Paulo? Watch the TV ads on the Super Bowl. It's all about hip blacks in hip cars with white women. That group should be in the streets. Has been bought off by Jay-Z." And then there was...
Like I said, how did Jay-Z become the man responsible for NFL entertainment and things of that nature. I mean, that's a big role. And that's a role that you wouldn't even expect somebody like Jay-Z to have. He had to really do something for those people to put him in that position.
Another email sent by Mark Lloyd to Jeffrey Epstein back in May of 2015. And it appears to be an article that this man got sent to his email account, and then he turned around and sent it to Jeffrey Epstein. And it talks about a couple different things. But one thing that is referenced in this email and even in the subject title is Jay-Z defends himself against Marina Abramovich accusation with proof of donation. And this article is when Marina Abramovich accused Jay-Z of not paying a donation to her institute after she appeared in his music video for song Picasso Baby. This is that music video that everybody remembers, and Marina is straight demonic and creepy as hell. Now
that was weird in that video when they did that one scene where they put their foreheads together and they had all that stuff going on in the background. It did kind of look like some kind of ritual or something like that. So for them to come out and say that this lady is demonic, it kind of makes sense, man. This stuff really adds up. I mean, if you pay attention, this stuff adds up, man.
This is a tip back in 2009 that references Jay-Z, Harvey Weinstein, and Pusha T. It says, on July 10th of 2019 at 8:20 a.m. Eastern Time, someone called the FBI National Threat Operations Center.
And this was in 2019, so this wasn't even that long ago.
To identify herself as a victim of abuse by Jeffrey Epstein and others. This person said in approximately 1994, she revealed herself as a past victim of abuse by Epstein. She described the abuse that occurred during parties, and she also described someone as a friend of someone. In approximately 1996, she revealed that she resided with someone somewhere. An unknown man abducted someone from her home when she later awoke in the presence of Harvey Weinstein and Sean Carter, known as Jay-Z. This person claimed that Harvey Weinstein inserted his fingers into... She believed that she was in Epstein's mansion in Florida.
Nah, don't say it. I ain't gonna say it. I was finna try to be funny, but I ain't gonna say it.
This person estimated that she was abducted on 7 occasions, awaking each time in an indoor setting. She said that she suffered abuse on multiple of those occasions in which Epstein participated. She claims that she recalled Leon Black and William Barr, the current United States Attorney General, being present during some of the occasions of the abuse. And in approximately 2006, Blank last recalled being abused by Epstein. On each occasion, she believed that she was given substances, clouding her memory. She attributed this by being performed by people assigned as handlers, whom she described as persons who established friendships with the victims. Among her handlers, she identified artist Pusha T. In approximately 2007, Blake attended a party following invitation from an unknown man who approached her as she walked down the street.
Now, nobody goes unscathed in this game.
I agree. Nobody goes unscathed in this game. And everybody that's responsible for victimizing these young women need to be held accountable. No matter if it's Pusha T, Jay-Z, Bill Gates, Jeffrey Epstein, or Harvey Weinstein, R. Kelly. I mean, the list goes on and on. Every one of these guys, they need to be held accountable for what they did.
Nobody. And that's crazy. Like I said earlier, you know, people on the internet don't want to believe Jay-Z and Pusha T is involved. Jay-Z, we already know up through there.
I don't want to believe Pusha T was involved. I really don't. But you can't put anything past anybody these days.
That's why I played her clip, because she pulled up more emails from, you know, Jay-Z being involved in stuff from a whole different level. And I didn't even know Marina Abramovich was, you know, coming at him for not paying her for basically doing that ritual in her video. I mean, in Jay-Z's video. I didn't know that part. Remember, we always talked about that and showed the clips of how demonic that little ritual looked that they were doing. They put their heads together.
Yeah.
I didn't know he, you know, gypped her on the bread. I don't know. I don't know if it's still something or it got blown out of proportion and, you know, the internet ran with it, but no one will go unscathed. I'm surprised. I did not think Pusha T. I wouldn't have. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, we know the industry is what the industry is, but I wouldn't have thought in 20, 30 years that we would see Pusha T name pop up in this.
Beyonce has reportedly lost 10 million followers on Instagram.
That's crazy. But there's repercussions to this, man. And because Jay-Z is being brought up in these allegations and being connected with Jeffrey Epstein and Harvey Weinstein, things are about to change, man. We are about to see him fall from grace. At least that's what I believe, because being connected to Jeffrey Epstein is not a good look. And people are not feeling that, and they do not support that. Celebrities don't support that. And all kind of different businesses, they don't support that, man. You know, I believe Jay-Z is going to lose a lot of contracts. He's going to lose a lot of endorsements. And this is going to affect Beyonce as well.
After new allegations surfaced involving her husband, rapper Jay-Z, the claims come from documents tied to the Jeffrey Epstein case released by the U.S. Department of Justice. According to reports, Jay-Z's Instagram account also lost over 100,000 followers.
Now, for somebody like Jay-Z to lose 100,000 followers on Instagram, that's not really a big deal. Because I'm sure even without those 100,000 subscribers and supporters, probably still got millions more that's still standing with them. But how long will they stay with them? And who are these people that's unfollowing Jay-Z? You know, the people that are unfollowing Jay-Z could have a big impact on Jay-Z and Beyonce's future.
After his name appeared in the documents, some major accounts, including celebrities and brands, are believed to have unfollowed him. That right there. That's something. That is something there.
That is something, because like I said, major endorsements and big name celebrities are unfollowing Jay-Z. And that's not good, man. That's going to have a serious impact on everything that him and Beyonce does. Or what they may not be doing because of this situation, actually.
Because when you say celebrities unfollowed him, you got to think about how the industry is and how they're all in the industry. But I said there's layers to it. You know.
That's true. And every action creates a chain reaction. And please believe, if certain celebrities unfollow Jay-Z and quit messing around with Jay-Z, there's going to be a bunch more to follow behind that. It's a chain reaction, man. It's not good, man. Celebrities and major companies are going to cut Jay-Z off, man. He's going to lose all kind of endorsements. And like I mentioned before, he's responsible for NFL entertainment. What's going to happen with that? I don't think the NFL is going to be, they're not going to want to be tied to a person that has connections and involvements with things that went on with Jeffrey Epstein. It's not looking good, man.
There's different tiers. So like it's like when news come out, some people want to unfollow so they don't lose their brand deals, you know. Oh, you didn't hear what happened, you know, what's alleged against Jay-Z? And we see that you're following him, deal gone, you know. So some people are probably trying to separate themselves so they don't lose any brand deals, you know. Let's see here. I'll read that again. Some major accounts, including celebrities and brands, are believed to have unfollowed him. At the time of reporting, Jay-Z still has around 1 million followers, and Beyonce, along with Lindsay Lohan, Diddy, Ivanka Trump, and Kris Jenner, continue to follow him. Okay? Speculations suggest Kim Kardashian, Rihanna, Apple Music, and the NFL.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Man, forget about Kim Kardashian. And Rihanna, that's major too, because Jay-Z put Rihanna in a good position in the music industry. You know, he got her a lot of endorsements and everything with Fendi and everything. So that's kind of major right there. But Apple Music and the NFL, let that sit in for a minute. Let that sink in, y'all. Apple Music and the NFL has cut ties with Jay-Z. At least they unfollowed Jay-Z, which is an indicator of cutting ties with him. That's big, man. And that could affect a lot of other people. A lot of people that Jay-Z has in line for halftime shows and things of that nature. It's not looking good, man. Excuse me, like I told y'all in the beginning, I've been a little sick. Well, I've been hella sick for about a week. I'm getting better. I'm feeling better, but the sickness is still lingering, so y'all bear with me. I'm trying to keep it rolling, though. This is big, man. I think Jay-Z messed up. And he may have messed up some things for Beyonce as well. And that's all bad.
May have unfollowed him as well. That right there is huge. I mean, extremely huge. For one, when you look at, which is crazy too, because you got Kris Jenner, the mama of Kim, still follow him, but they're saying that Kim Kardashian unfollowed him. Rihanna, again, Jay-Z is one of the dudes, you know, it was rumored some stuff with Rihanna and him and the whole Chris Brown situation. Again, I'm just saying rumors because we don't really know what the truth is. We can speculate, but yeah. Apple Music, man. Apple Music, but the NFL.
The NFL of all things. That's a major hit if the NFL has decided to cut ties with Jay-Z. That's going to impact a lot, man. Just Apple Music alone cutting ties with Jay-Z is going to impact and affect a lot. But this is all alleged right now. So we're going to give it time and we're going to see what happens. But it's not looking good. It's not sounding good. Anybody that has anything to do with Jeff Epstein is in a bad position.
Jay-Z, for you guys who don't know, I'm pretty sure most of you do, but Jay-Z is the one who, helps the NFL find the talent for the halftime shows. I remember Lil Wayne was mad at him because when you had the NFL in New Orleans and Lil Wayne wasn't part of the halftime show, it was like, what the hell? Y'all in my hometown, you couldn't even get me?
And that was bogus, Jay-Z. You know damn well you should have had Lil Wayne be a part of that halftime show when they had it down there in New Orleans. That was bogus, Jay. You've been doing a lot of bogus shit for a long time.
People thought like, damn, Jay-Z is in this position. For sure, Lil Wayne is going to be there. This is huge. This is because my whole thing is every time a celebrity, whether it's a music artist, actor, actress, whenever they're involved in something, there never seems to be any type of consequences, any type of repercussions. For the most part, people still will follow them. People will stick up for them. But having your name tied to Jeffrey Epstein, it's like, man, it's like, golly, man, like what the hell? Now, again, we still have to see what's going to come of this, what's going to happen. I made the video the other day talking about who's going to jail, like what happens next moving forward, because it seems to be a whole lot of, this is out, this happened. Did you read the files? Did you see the pictures? Did you see this? Did you see that? It's like, okay, so what's next? This right here, man, this is one of them headlines you thought you wouldn't see, especially with the NFL may have unfollowed him as well.
That's true, man. But like he said, what's next? Is there anything that's going to happen to anybody that's been connected with Jeffrey Epstein? Because nothing's happened yet. I'm sure there's not going to be a lot that's going to happen with Bill Gates with all the money that he has. Jay-Z has billions, so most likely nothing will happen with him. And most likely nothing's going to happen to anybody that comes up in the situation with Jeffrey Epstein. Now, I want to say we unpacked a lot in this video, and there's a lot that we have to wait to see what happens with, especially with things like the Nancy Guthrie situation. Hopefully they find her alive and well. We'll see. The young lady that lost her life in Chicago, hopefully they catch the guys responsible for that. We'll wait and we'll see what happens with that. And hopefully the things that I heard as far as her disrespecting people that passed away, hopefully that didn't have anything to do with what happened with her. But we're going to find out and we'll see. Man, things are getting crazy, man. But I'm here to push this information out to y'all to keep us all aware of what's going on. Hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe to the channel. And like I said, I appreciate each and every one of you guys for supporting the channel.